Star Citizen 3.17.2 is here, along with a new wipe of the game, making this the most perfect time for new players to join. With that, I want to show you the best way I have found to make my first million to get you off your feet and started your journey through the verse. Before we can enter the game, we require one specific ship from the RSI store in order for this to work. Regardless of your starter pledge, the best thing about Star Citizen is you can upgrade your pledge package to a different ship and only have to pay the difference between the new ship and your current ship. In order to make our first million, we will require the Prospector. The Prospector is a standalone one crew light mining ship that will allow us to begin mining smaller rock forms of Quantanium, which is where you can make lots of money in a moderate amount of time. The ship comes in at a solid $155 USD, which may seem like a lot at first, but I've found with the game and the amount you are able to do, the $155 is worth every penny. Once we acquire the Prospector, we are ready to head into the verse and begin our journey to $1 million. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will be remaining in the ArcCorp solar system, primarily the Arc L1 Wide Forest Station and the moon to the planet ArcCorp, Lyria. To start off, we will head to the Arc L1 station in order to reset our spawn point in the event space pirates or pilot error occur. We also require the Lancet MH1 mining laser, which runs at the time of filming for $23,500. This laser will provide enough power for us to crack the Quantanium rocks. In order to purchase the laser, head through the station down to the refinery. At the back of the refinery, you will find a door followed by a set of stairs past it. We do not need to head upstairs yet, so let's head into the shop. Head over to the computers next to where the cashier is, enter the computer, and move to the utility tab. Once there, find the Lancet MH1 mining laser and purchase it. If you don't have the $23,500 available, I'd recommend doing transport contracts since they allow you to make smaller amounts of money fast, which will ultimately bring you to the $23,500. Once we have the mining laser purchased, it is time to attach it to our ship. Simply go into your F1 menu and navigate to the ship outfitter. Keep in mind our Prospector must be stored in the Arc L1 station in order for us to re-outfit the ship. Click on the utility tab and swap out the current laser for the new Lancet. With the new laser installed and our spawn point set, we are ready to head to the infamous moon, Lyria. Once we arrive, you will see lots of different jump points, including mining stations, processing facilities, and other named points. Our primary interest will be jumping to one of the mining stations as the other areas are hostile. I prefer to start mining in the SAL2 or 5 area. Another thing to note is to stay on the side of the moon where it's daylight out, as you are an easier target to space pirates in the night. I begin by bringing my ship's altitude to 1,000 to 2,000 feet and bring my ship's speed to max force. While doing this, we will begin to ping the planet. My ping is bound to a button on my flight stick, however the default for this is tab. When you ping, you'll see some icons appear on your HUD. The icons will start out as a 3D cube, and as you approach will change either into a rock or a diamond. For Quantanium, we are looking for rocks. However, we are targeting specific rock forms. As we soar around the planet, we will ignore single rocks as we want to find rock clusters. I personally consider a cluster to be anywhere above 3 rock, but this is personal preference. Once we find the desired rock cluster, we will begin the scanning procedure. I will bring the ship to either a dead stop or slower speed and start descending to approach the rocks on the ground. Next, bring up your scanning tool. Again, mine is bound to my flight stick where the default is V. Begin scanning the rocks one by one. When you scan a rock, you'll notice on the right side of your HUD, information begins to appear. We are primarily looking for a high percentage of Quantanium. I consider a high percentage to be anything above 40, but again, personal preference. The higher percentage of Quantanium, the more money we will make from the run. On the left side of your HUD, you will also see the mass of the rock. Due to the Prospector being a single man light miner, we are looking for rocks under 5,000 mass. A workaround for this is using modules, which I have not experimented with yet, and those will be a part of a separate video. Another workaround is having a friend who also has a Prospector with you that will allow you to mine larger mass rocks. After scanning the rocks and determining which of the cluster we wish to mine, it's time to do the harder part of this. The most important part of the mining process is to remember Quantanium is an unstable material, and the mining process must be done delicately to prevent the rock exploding your ship. To begin, set your ship to mining mode. Again, mine is bound to my flight stick, however the default key binding is M. On the top left of your HUD, it will show you your distance from the target rock, and if that distance is in the operable zone of the laser. On the right hand side, you will see a bar with a varying green section and red section. Begin increasing the power of the laser slowly, you will notice the white bar begin climbing towards the green zone. Once you hit the green zone, I begin doing what I call feathering. What you want to do is decrease and increase the power slightly. This is to help keep the white bar in the green zone. If the white bar proceeds to the red zone, you will notice your ship start shaking and your ship's AI will begin yelling at you. When you hear this, decrease the power of the laser as soon as possible before a catastrophic explosion sends you back to Arc L1. Once you stay in the green long enough, the rock will break into smaller pieces. However, the smaller pieces are still too large for the prospector to collect, so we will repeat the process again. Now that we have the rock broken up into collectible pieces, do not extract them yet. The moment you extract one form of Quantanium, the 15-minute timer starts. Ensure all of your desired rocks are broken up to collection levels. Now switch from fracturing mode to extraction mode and continue to scan all the rocks you just created by mining. Notice on the right side of the HUD, it will tell you again what percentage of the rock is Quantanium. Continue to look for the ones that are 100% Quantanium. After you've identified those rocks, we are ready to begin collection. Start the extractor and start extracting your 100% Quantanium rocks first, followed by the rest of the rocks until you either fill up the ship or no more rocks contain Quantanium. Again, remember, you have started the 15-minute timer. Begin leaving Lyria's atmosphere. While leaving, set your quantum drive back to Arc L1 Wide Forest Station, and once you're able to start quantum travel, begin. Once you arrive at Arc L1, land as normal. With the stock quantum drive, you will make it on time provided you follow the previous process properly. You might get there and get the first warning from your AI that time is running out. Do not worry. Proceed into the station and store your ship. Once the ship is stored, the timer is no longer a problem and all is safe. Continue back down to the refinery where we were earlier. As previously mentioned, head to the back where we bought the mining laser, and this time head up the stairs. Keep in mind you will need money on hand to start the refinery process. Approach the computers and select the prospector in the bottom left of the screen, and then select Setup Work Order. A new menu will appear. Select the toggle for Quantanium and leave the other toggles on. Next, you're going to want to select the drop-down menu to see a list of refinery methods. Go through each method one by one and pressing Get Quote. The three things you want to note here are the total mined to yield ratio, how much the refine costs, and how long it will take as the refinery times are in real time. Once you find the method that best fits your run, start the work order. Now we will have to wait to come back and finally get paid. Before we do, I use a Google Sheet to get a rough estimate of how much I am making. After all expenses from just one run, we pulled $198,875. I recommend having multiple work orders in the refinery completed. This increased profits as we have to rent a cargo ship until we are able to buy our own. When you are ready to sell off your hard-earned Quantanium, head back to the refinery area on Arc L1. You will want to re-enter the shop where we bought the Lancet laser, and instead this time head to the back to the computers on the left-hand side. This is where you'll be able to rent the Cutlass. The Cutlass is a cargo ship that also has strong weapon capabilities to defend against space pirates. The Cutlass costs $34,362 to rent for one day, but the Quantanium profits make up for it. I recommend saving to buy the Cutlass as your next ship to make your mining costs go down. Now that we have a way to transport the Quantanium, head back up to the refining computers. Navigate to the work order you want to sell, and at the bottom you will see a select storage option. Click the drop down and select the Cutlass. Note, if you do not see the Cutlass, head back to the computers where you retrieve your ship. You may need to do a quick insurance claim. Once you have the Cutlass selected, select Collect. Now that our Quantanium is on the ship, we are ready to head to Area 18, the flagship city of the planet ArcCorp. Once you arrive at Area 18, head to the Rikers Memorial Spaceport. I find the spaceport easy to find by looking for its distinguishing land coverage. Head towards the spaceport and land as normal. I find Rikers to be a little tricky sometimes to land at, so don't be afraid to take your time. After you land, take the elevator up to the main floor and store the Cutlass. Next, follow the hallways until you get to the train station and wait for the train to arrive. Once the train arrives, hop on, and now we are off to Area 18's central area. Now that you have arrived to the central area, follow the hallway and go up the stairs to exit the train station. You'll be faced with a beautiful plaza that I definitely recommend touring around. However, for this, we will head to the Trade Development Division building on the right. Once you're in the TDD, approach any of the long line of computers. In the system, make sure you select Sell, and then select the Cutlass from the Source drop-down box. On the center of the screen, select Quantanium, and now on the bottom right, you will see we actually pulled $203,808. Congratulations, you have fully completed your first Quantanium mining run, and are now set up to conquer the verse and be well on your way to your first million. I hope this guide helped you get a feel and idea of what Star Citizen has to offer. I want to note that there is still an endless amount of ways we can make money. This has just been the best way I have found during my time in the verse. If you're a new player and you want to get involved with a group to not only help maximize your profits, but be able to be a part of an organization that will help pay for your equipment to get you to where you want to be within your career, I have a mining organization in the works, and more info for that will be in another video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an amazing rest of your time within the verse. If you found this helpful, or if you have ideas to even increase profits and efficiency, leave a comment below. And if you want to get more guides for beginners from a beginner, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, fly safe.